comes first, and then the key, the ultimate key. You guys want to hear what the key is? All right, stay tuned. Don't change the channel. Hey mama. So today's video is all about navigating those challenging moments with our little ones that usually come when they hit that milestone that I affectionately like to refer to as the terrific twos or the emotional twos, as opposed to what they're commonly referred to is the terrible twos. And you know, it's no fault of their own. It's a huge milestone for them. And let's face it, it's just a phase in this new adventure that, you know, they're going to have to go through. It's especially challenging if your toddler, like mine, hasn't actually mastered the art of talking to effectively express themselves, which just makes this phase sometimes even more challenging. So I'm going to go over my personal go-tos of what I recommend, everything from breathing exercises to massage techniques to some essential oils that help make this time easier for you and your toddler. So if you're just watching me for the first time, my name is Anna Connie Walters. I'm the owner of the Anna Connie Walters brand, the sub-brands Fat Mermaids, PHAT, not FAT, and Mindful Roots Hub. I am a women's stress mastery coach and women's wellness holistic coach. And my son has just turned 2. And yeah, we're going into a very adventurous phase where these emotional outbursts are occurring a lot more often. Now, to kind of tackle this, I really just want to give you some really easy tips that would not just really help them, but also help you navigate this really, really amazing time in their life as a milestone a little bit more gracefully. Let's get started. Okay, so the first thing is deep breathing techniques. And you're probably wondering, like, Anna, I barely know how to deep breathe. How am I going to teach a toddler? It's important that you start these when they're not actually in that emotional state. It's something that you need to work in on an everyday basis, just like you're working in those ABCs and 1, 2, 3s. Boo, you got to work in this breathing technique. Now, my son's been doing deep breathing exercises since he was pretty much a year. He's really been doing it since he was like 1 month because he's been doing baby and me yoga with me since he was a month old. And a lot of that first 3 months of me doing postpartum, yoga was just deep breathing because I had a C-section and I wasn't really ready to get into any physical activity until much later on. In doing so, it really prepped him when I physically started to teach him how to actually deep breathe. So as a registered prenatal yoga instructor, baby and me and toddler and me were kind of part of my certification process. And so I have 2 really cute ideas on how you would start to teach them. And you can start to teach them really as early as you want. They may not conceptually get what you're trying to teach them, but they will understand eventually, and it will become almost muscle memory. So when he was very small, I would either hold him like this when he was really active, or when he was really a baby, he had that bobble head, he didn't have any head control, I would hold him like this. Now, if you've never done deep breathing, I'm going to give you like a quick run through. Like, this is, not the most effective way to deep breathe, learn how to deep breathe. But essentially, you're inhaling and exhaling, preferably only through your nose if you can. And if you're congested or whatever, and you're having a hard time inhaling and exhaling both times through your nose, you can exhale through your mouth. But try to, as much as you can, do it through your nose. Sitting up nice and tall, you actually want to inhale through your nose and bring that breath into your belly first. You're actually expanding that belly like you're pushing it out, bringing it into your ribs, into your chest. As you start to exhale, you actually release the breath from your chest, your ribs, and then you give yourself that little hug by bringing that belly button all the way in. And that's how you deep breathe. Eventually, as you start to get used to it, you can start to deep breathe a lot longer. And so I used to bring my hands on their body, get them really close to your chest. You would close your eyes, try to relax as much as you can, pull your shoulders back and down away from your ears, sit up nice and tall, deep breathe, and they hear it. Now, if you are very more advanced, then you would do like the Ujjayi breath, which is the ocean's breath. And they can kind of hear that. As he got older, I would actually have him lying in front of me. Okay. Maybe his legs are up on me like this. You'd maybe want to extend that. And you could use like a scarf or anything that's really, really like flimsy. And he would obviously have his eyes open. Baby Nancy doesn't have control of her eyes like that. And you would go, and you would have it so that they start to see your deep inhale, exhale. And your point is you're trying to move the scarf. Now, my son is a little bit bigger than this baby, so I actually can do the same thing. Imagine my son is in front of us. I was like, let's take some deep breaths. Now, because he's a toddler, I teach him how to inhale and exhale with his mouth. Because he's a little bit too young, sometimes he will do like this, and he'll like make it exaggerated and scrunch his nose. So he's getting it because he sees me doing it through my nose. But originally, I taught him to do it through his mouth. So I'd be like, let's take a deep breath. And we would like, and then I was like, your turn. And then like he would do just like a little bit, and I would exaggerate it for him. Like, oh man, that was such a deep breath. The more excited, the more you praise him, the more special you make them feel when they do it, especially when they actually like, they're getting the concept, the more they'll want to keep trying. Now, this is another way to think about it, and I use this in conjunction with teaching them the balloon breath. So you tell them, if you had like a balloon that you wanted to try it with, you would take the balloon and be like, okay, we're going to pretend we're blowing a balloon. Now, if they already have seen you and and they see the expansion, that's awesome. What I like to be like, we're going to pretend we're blowing a balloon, and we're going to inhale deep, and I expand this. You can do the same exact thing with like a regular balloon. They see the expansion, you let the air out, and then we're going to exhale, and then you slowly let the breath out. We're going to inhale, and then we're going to exhale. Now, as they get older, the opposite can happen. Well, this little, whatever you call it, can work in the same sense, but you then start teaching them what's happening on the inside. So when we inhale, our lungs get super big and super full. And then when we exhale, we squeeze our lungs. When we inhale, we fill up our lungs. And when we exhale, we squeeze all that air out. And so you just have to kind of progressively go with where they are in terms of what they're kind of understanding. And deep breathing is amazing. 3 deep breaths is your key. As an adult or as a baby, remember that for them, they don't have to breathe in and out as much for them to get the immediate benefit. But as adults, we actually do. So just keep that in mind. For you to really do it with them. If you're teaching them, even if you're teaching them with the open mouth, you're still getting the benefit, and it will instantly relax you. Deep breathing is known for reducing anxiety, reducing hypertension, reducing actually your blood sugar levels if you're diabetic. There's so many benefits to deep breathing exercises, and as a first-time mom, it is a lifesaver for those moments where it feels really chaotic. I like to teach my students, inhale peace, exhale that chaos. All right, let's move on. All right, so now let's talk about the power of touch. And when I say touch, I do mean baby or toddler massages. Now, if you were blessed enough to actually go through a baby massage class postpartum, fantastic. You probably already know a bunch of them. But if you're watching this, you probably didn't get that opportunity, and that's why you're here. So there's a slew of baby massage techniques that you can actually do to help in a lot of ailments from infancy all the way to like childhood. And they essentially can work in adults, but most people don't take the time to actually like massage each other. The easiest one, if they're at the point where they're ready for a hug. When my son has his initial emotional outburst, he's usually throwing himself on the floor. He's looking for that attention. He's like just all over the place. He's trying to tell me, and it's just coming out and like, and then everything is NO. Like it's this. Like, are you hungry? Do you want to watch TV? Do you want ice cream? Do you want to watch, planes? Do you want to go to the bathroom? Do you want something to drink? And then I'm like, okay, well, I can't help you then. I'm going to go sit down. And as soon as I start to like literally walk away, it's like, I'm like, I don't know what you want. You got to use your words. Tell me, use your words. What do you want? And he knows sign language. So that's where we're at. And sometimes in that phase, physical affection is not his BFF. So I just sit there with him. And I just comfort him with my words. I know it's not fair. I'm really sorry. I don't understand what you want. Or I'm sorry I don't understand what you want. And it's okay to be emotional, but it is not okay for you to throw yourself. You can hurt yourself. Like I try to like tell him that until he gets to the point where he's ready for this. I keep asking him, do you want a hug? And then he'll like put his head down, which to me starts to tell me that he does. He's just not ready to admit. Okay. So when you get to that point where they're ready for physical contact like this, they're ready to be comforted physically. A back rub can go so far in your child's life. Maybe coming up into their shoulders, using that one hand method, using the bottom of your forefingers and the patting of your palm and just doing circular motions on their back. Sometimes patting them helps, sometimes really embracing them. Now what I like to do is if he asks for a hug, I hug him and I do not let go until he's ready or shows me sign that he's ready for me to let go. And that in itself does wonders. The pressure itself helps calm that nervous system. Now, I'm not telling you to like smother him, just enough, like a little bit more than you would in just a regular, like, oh, I love you, like, a gentle hug. Okay. That's the first one. Sorry, I'm looking to make sure he's not awake because he's taking a nap right now. If he'll allow you to sit him down, I like to do a foot massage. So I take the patting of my thumb, I use my opposite hand to kind of hold his leg and, support the ankle. And I go from the patting the heel of his foot 3 times in a circle. And then in the middle to the very patting of his foot. And then each finger, I gently just kind of pull on each finger very, very so gently because you don't want to like pull them out of its socket. Take both of your thumbs, basically massage in opposite circular motions like, I don't know what the Karate Kid used to do, on the top of his feet. And then here on the ankles, you just take a C shape, thumb and index or pointing finger, and around the ankles. And then you do the same thing. And as you're doing this, talk to them. Like today was so hard, huh? How are you feeling? Are you feeling better? Yeah? Like, what was going on? Tell me. And whether I understand him or not, that's not the point. The point is that he's hearing that I'm giving him time to express himself. And then the same thing on the opposite side. And as you do that, as he hears you talking, as he or she hears you validate their emotions, then you'll start to really see the change. And then you'll start to see that the emotional outbursts become less and less. Eventually, you'll start to be able to be like, okay, let's take a deep breath. And take out let's take a deep breath. Ready? Now, sometimes like, and then they'll be like tossing it and whatever. Keep offering it to them until it becomes habitual for them, because they will start to also notice that like, that actually makes me like, do you feel good? Ask them afterwards, did that make you feel good? Yeah, if they can't talk because they're like, infant size, like that made us feel so good, right? And you just kind of fill in those words for them to positively enforce what they're supposed to feel. And then they'll eventually be like, actually, that does make me feel. Now my son, when he gets upset, that's what he does. And I was like, yeah. This is like, you're angry? Let's stomp our feet. Let's take more deep breaths. And we find alternative means other than throwing himself and just like hollering, like y'all probably already know. All right, let's move on. All right. So my favorite and my go-to, like sometimes before these other two now, are my best friends, my essential oils. Now, I am a huge advocate of Young Living. I have this backwards. And I love their brand, or this business, I should say, for a bunch of reasons. Their seed to seal is probably my favorite. The fact that they rigorously put their oils through tests, and if they don't pass their test, they don't sell the oil. It's always first pressed. You get the most like potent, best oil out of each plant or wherever it's being extracted from, whatever like plant-based it's being, whether it's bark or a plant or a tree or whatever, sap, which is amazing because a lot of essential oils, they will distill it as many times as they can and then mix it all together so that you feel like you're getting the best quality, but you're actually not. You don't even know what you're actually getting. Now, the best thing about Young Living is that they have a Seedlings line, which is specifically for kids. Now, my first go-to, my ultimate go-to is either Gentle Baby or Calm Seedlings. Now, Calm Seedlings, anything that's seedlings, you automatically know that you as a parent don't have to worry about dilution because it's already pre-diluted, and you already know that all the essential oils that they use in any of that product line are already kid-friendly or kid-safe, so to speak. Now, the younger they are, the more you may want to still consider diluting. Whenever I dilute, you should always use a vegetable-based oil. I specifically prefer their V6 vegetable oil complex, again from Young Living. Comes in this really cute bottle. Man, this thing goes a long way. And it comes in with a little pump, so it's super easy to either put on your palm to dilute it and put it in a roll-on, so you have this already, like pre-done. I actually use it to fill my vegetable capsules with my dietary essential oils that I actually consume. Yes, you can digest essential oils from Young Living. So, Gentle Baby, godsend during pregnancy, postpartum, and the fact that it was always baby safe. The only thing that I needed to always make sure is that I always diluted it as an infant, and then gradually less dilution as he got older. He's been using essential oil since he was pretty much a newborn. So I don't actually dilute this, but I only use 1 drop. I rub it in my hands first, and then the key, the ultimate key. You guys want to hear what the key is? All right, stay tuned. Don't change the channel. The ultimate key to making this the most effective when you're using essential oil to calm your toddler or child down. And it could even be when you have an infant who's having just a really hard time. They're having growing pains, they're gassy, they're sleepy, they're not sleeping good, maybe they're congested, they're teething. That's a terrible one. You'd essentially, again, I'm using Seedlings, so this one's already pre-diluted. If I was using it on a baby, you may want to consider doing it again, diluting just for safety, especially if it's the first time you've ever used essential oils. So you'd essentially pretend like I had a drop in there. I kind of keep my palm cupped just like this. would do a little, pump of this. And again, if it was just essential oil, because I didn't feel like I needed to dilute, I would do this first. Now, when you're using gentle baby, mama, you are struggling, you're on that verge of like, you're about to start crying too, take your hands and take a whiff. Take that deep breath, rub it in your hands, get it nice and warm. Take a deep breath, and then rub it on the sole of your foot, making sure you really get that big toe. Do it on the other side before your hands kind of like suck it all up with your hair dry. But the beauty of laying it on your hair goes a long way. Like literally warms up, you could still like, I should, put it on your ear, I put it on your clothes, kind of just get all the sorry, probably just putting it on the base of your feet is the most safe to effectively introduce infants and children to some hair. Two, your feet are attached to so many different body parts. Medicine, pressure, they're used really just for hands and feet. They're basically target all kinds of body parts, taking your feet in your hands, and there's actually math that you can tell. The reason we specifically target your large, big toe is that that's where your central nervous system is connected to. So if you make sure that you put the oil on their big toe, whether it be gentle baby, seedlings, if you don't have that, I always do just some care with the oil. And that works on really measure. Put it on the bottoms of your soles of your feet and make sure you put it on your big toe first. I've tested this out multiple times. Kids, but this is my first time ever taking care of like a person from infancy to like, the goal is to adulthood, and Joy in a bottle is probably my BFF in life. You ever heard of the devil is the thief of joy? Well, let me tell you, parenthood is the thief of joy. And joy is really what drives you, what makes you want to get up in the morning, what makes you excited about life, what makes you excited about being a mom instead of being able to, get caught up and focused in all like the challenges and the chaos. And it's really important so that you have that grace and that patience for both you and your son. This is a growing experience for us as parents if it is the first time that we've been doing it. I thought I was prepared because I've been babysitting since I was 10. Nothing prepared me for motherhood. No advice, no reading extensively, not being a yoga instructor, not being in the medical field. I was a nurse for like 20 years. I even spent a year in OBGYN. No, none of it. None of it prepared me. It was kind of like learn on the job and sink or swim. And of course, as parental instincts kick in, you don't have no choice but to thrive or to survive. And I'm here to teach you that parenting can be so much more rewarding and so much more than just surviving. I want you to thrive as a mama, okay? My key is joy in the bottle. I used to wear this as perfume. I had it in a carrier, in a roll-on. It was already diluted with carrier, and I used it as my perfume. I put it on my wrist, I put it on the back of my ears, and a little bit on my collarbone. Now, not only did I smell fantastic, and every time people would hug me, they would take like a few more seconds. I'd get that extra hug time, and they're like, gosh, you smell really good. I'm like, yeah, that's my joy in the bottle. It kept me joyful during my pregnancy. It's helped me manage pregnancy blues, pregnancy anxiety. It definitely helped postpartum when I was dealing with PTSD from the delivery, maybe probably suffering from postpartum depression, and it continues to help me now. Making sure that I wake up joyful, grateful, and just happy about being in this moment, being in this space, even in those really challenging moments. So, I hope you have found some value in this. If you've gotten this far, thank you so much for spending this time with me, for finding these tips. I would love to hear which ones you found the most beneficial. Maybe even if you'd like me to even create a video, like a full video on just one specific thing, or go into more detail. I would love any type of feedback, because again, I'm here for you, mama. So, as always, inhale the peace, exhale the chaos. Know that you are doing enough, and that is good enough, okay? You're doing an amazing job, in case no one's told you today. You are beautiful, you are strong, you are amazing. Until next time, stay fabulous, stay beautiful, and I'll catch you in the next video. Are you on the path to a more vibrant and fulfilling life? Then don't forget to hit that subscribe button. You have the power to transform your life. Let's start that journey now. Stay inspired, stay motivated, and remember, your journey to a happier, healthier you starts right here. See you in the next video.